Rumdendem Gombo Jahoro La Jan Zalo Gangolo Jumni Jumda Nida Nandara Ser Sinye Dogan Jibja Zubjani Ji Dakarala Kanda de Bezor Margamanto Dungra Jizer Dozo Gala Chu Darzeya La Jujan Dan Song Dutraja Donya Monya Lori Jijo Domzat Margamanzer Dungram Yaga Junior Jomzara Danam Doni Dazan Sajin Dazo Yandali Zoja the Shudra Jadam Janji Jatin Dalo Mazir Jahura Landa Umara Bazana 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 Chidun Jijin Jero Zirji Dalo Dama Barazan Guadon Danju Dobai Lodrö be na jeta sur nyaje jembo zodan yume jang zone molo jembo ngarjat pakara dangam zando jemado domba de je jang la shangza lo atero achu pok jab goda jak jab go jam mamboyo sare pok shana ya Yes.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone. We're going to begin with our teaching this morning now, and before we do so, everybody please make an aspiration of bodhicitta. So bodhicitta is something we need to have regardless of whatever it is we're doing, whether we're listening to a teaching, whether we're studying the teachings, or whether we're meditating. So bodhicitta, in a nutshell, is the aspiration to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all beings.
Sim Gatani, the Sam Gore, Kajinimeka Sam Gore, Yina, Tangaso Tamboni, Kajinimeka Sam Gona, there's a Kaboy, the Indi Kale Kale Rimjim, so Gumjamni, then Yenda, Manda Tendigo Samloti, Gilla Akimachita Gore.
So this is an aspiration or resolve that we need to make from the bottoms of our heart. And even though this might be somewhat difficult to do at the very beginning, we should strive through our meditation to cultivate our aspiration of bodhicitta.
The new chance of Kasimzia thing also Tabachimbo Chukang in that someone Randare, Sama, the Latin Yamlim Shego, the Matoya. The Kashigushi Goa, Kashigushi Magoa, then is a maris.
So bodhicitta is something that is common to all the practices of the Mahayana path. There is no way in which some practices require it and others don't. So, in a nutshell, the bodhicitta motivation is the resolve to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all other beings. And in order to achieve this, today we study the Dharma teachings and listen to them as well. So this is extremely important. I hope everyone really is diligent in seeking to cultivate bodhicitta in a very strong way in their mind stream. So what I'm going to be teaching on this morning is Tsongkhapa's 3 principles of the path. So this teaching is in relation to practicing the Mahayana path. In general, in terms of our practice, there are many important things that we need to keep in mind. However, of all of these important things, there are 3 that, in fact, are the most important. So for someone who really wants to practice in a sincere and proper way, it's very important that they practice and pay attention to these 3 principles. These days there are many people who are really wanting to practice the Dharma, and yet they don't know how to go about doing so in a proper way. And this is a very serious issue. So not only do people not understand how to go about so this is a serious problem indeed, that people don't know how to go about practice. So in terms of the 3 things that we do need to cultivate in our practice, according to the 3 principles of the path, these are firstly renunciation, secondly bodhicitta, and thirdly establishing a correct view of emptiness. These are 3 things or 3 principles that necessarily must be cultivated.
Tani nga chola ngimjong ko sampayo, shangchip ko semyo, tani tongban topi tani tawayo, tesumdo yo sona, tani chu na ne te yakbo phosum chobare, te indi tesumbo te shina, tesumbo te dubna te chokyo re, te le jamba mambo mena andukare.
So if we can cultivate renunciation and bodhicitta and establish a correct view of emptiness, then this will be an extremely good state of practice. And simply concentrating on the cultivation of these 3 things is sufficient. It's not necessary, in addition to these three things, that we do many other practices.
Tatini ngazu dribji chuti tini ngimjong shangchip ko sem tani toni ki tawa sambo de yemba shi charwi jini tani te sambo da ngazu kangri goli drib go re ta dribluk kangri jena dribluk ti tani thuba tang samba tang gomba tang to somgo goni drib go ya re.
So, knowing or understanding that the 3 principles we are cultivating in our practice are renunciation, compassion, and a correct view of emptiness, how is it then that we go about cultivating these in our practice? The way that we need to do this is through the 3-fold approach of listening, reflecting, and meditating.
Tani tubazina kangrezina ngazo pena ngazo terang di chuchusiarna tani samayoni nyan o tindishe gore te chigre tani yang mena ngazo cha thola tani nyan na cha thola yang tani mambo nyan jindu te so kantar tani tambo ngazo pena loma ina lopcha na la tani girgung tani shapatila nyan gore ma to pa girgung shapala chawani manina tani rangjong jangbashina tani te khabore te indi ngazo chu ina yang tambo teni ngacho teni lama yena lohon yena tinji kumdni yaboz nyengo goriti tonda tambo re.
So the first part of this approach, listening, refers to listening to the Buddhist teachings like we're doing today. This is something we can do in person, face to face, or we can also listen to teachings on the internet. Just as in an ordinary school, a student listens to the teachings of a teacher. It's very difficult for a student to self-study completely without a teacher to help them. So in the same way, the first thing that is important is that we go before a qualified teacher and listen to their teachings on the Dharma.
Ani nipado gacho teni nyan sawi jini teni titon la samlo tane samlo mambo tango re ta nangba ga chuina teni ti nangla teni taware gombare te sokorwa te lojong she mambo yo re te indi teni te samlo tane teni mashina teni lehla poz ke teni shithap ko mare.
So having listened to the teachings, the next thing to do is to give the content of the teachings a great deal of thought, a great deal of reflection. In terms of the Buddhist teachings, the content is quite complex in terms of the practice of Buddhism and the view of Buddhism. And this is not something that we will be able to understand easily without giving it due thought and reflection.
Tani sambati gum nyamlin teri tani gum jawyate halipa te samganani thupadang samba gumba nani jang tani gumbate halipa kachimbo tere ngacho gum jawyate yakpozmena tani sosorang la tani chu pantoko marezi tani choose dubziate muir ngomate kangrezina ngacho rang soso semganala nyomumba mepachia teri te yindi gum magibna ngacho semganala nyomumba te mepa chawani shithap ko marete yindamanda gum jabgore.
So the third of this threefold approach is meditating. And of the three steps, this is extremely important. The reason being that without putting the teachings into practice, internalizing them through meditation, then the Dharma is not able to benefit us. Since the purpose of practicing and learning the Dharma is to eliminate our afflictions, our negative thoughts and emotions, without practicing the teachings in meditation, this won't be possible to happen.
Tendi tangaso gum japuna kanji gum gogorezina tendi tambo ngaso yang gum di kang japguna yang gum la mambo yore tendi kang gum gogo hamako ni tendi ngaso mi mambo zuko tendi gum jap samna yang tendi gum jap mashi gum jap moku te ham kang gum goba hamako tendi shini tata de yore tendi tambo gum tambo tendi ngimjong te gum gogore gum sama tambo di ngimjong re.
So in terms of this last point, meditation, how do we approach meditation practice? There are many types of meditation methods and techniques. Many people don't understand where they should begin their meditation, how they should meditate. They're interested in meditating and yet they don't know where to begin. So the first place that we should begin our meditation practice is with the cultivation of renunciation through meditation.
Tani gum yakboz tani japshi sona tani ngarancho sem ganala yo pinyom bate kale tani mar mepa chakre.
So when we can achieve a good level of accomplishment in our meditative practice, then it's possible for all of our afflictions, negative thoughts and emotions to disappear.
Tani gum jamni nyomumba mar mepa chakpatang te tang nyamde tani sosu jella shamdang nyangji teni shanship ka sem teni rapozi ka teni nga tsu tongpa ji teni topi teni sherip tso yang rimji yar yarjin ro.
And in addition to this, our bodhicitta, as well as our understanding, our realization of emptiness, will gradually increase as well.
다 teni tambo nga so thusum gomsum ta so sama nyamling shilik te tindi go ni shi sarwi jini teni lagling ga thola ngus lagling shi piner kamna teni ngimjong teni sem go gom go re ngimjong ne teni gonz go re.
So after having understood the importance of listening, reflecting, and meditating, we move on to the actual practice. The first thing that we need to work on generating is renunciation. So the first thing we need to understand is what it is that we actually mean by renunciation. Essentially, renunciation is made up of two parts. And once we have fulfilled these two parts, then we will have generated renunciation.
Teni tondak tambo te kare zena nga so thomar teni nga so khorwan di nang la teni ke ga nan chire tele jambi dungmer yang mambo yore te yena khorwan di nang la ta ngarang mun thun nin de ne na teni dungmer mambo zun du te yena ngarang inda manda teni tharwa z thomna gasare ma to pang khorwan di nang la dungmer mambo du sambi ti samlo te tambo gore dosar dana khorwa nang la dungmer mambo yo pate so samlo ta ne nga chung khorwa ze ya te dungmer mambo yo pate ri yem pate.
So renunciation involves us appreciating very strongly that cyclic existence is full of suffering, the suffering of birth, of aging, of illness, of death, as well as a myriad other kinds of suffering. It involves a realization that if we continue to be reborn in cyclic existence, then we will continue to suffer. And so for this reason, it is preferable that we transcend cyclic existence, that we achieve liberation from cyclic existence. So the first part of renunciation involves developing a strong understanding of the suffering nature of life in cyclic existence.
Teni te nga so dungur mayin bazila dungur rezi ni teni deshi jamni te marezi tonga tola dungur yenda mayin te nga so so aranga taggo gore te so aranga dang jamni korwa na la nga so dewa ta kepa teni yang yore te demo ta kepo tsawani yo marezi yo mare dewa ta kepa yore rite yena tong da nyung ma to yo mare teni chot teni te ma kepa ta ma dewa ta teni korwa te mambo yore li tola 나차 요리 게와 가비 등물다 때서 mambo 용거 요리 때 라와즈 그가 좀 심거 돌아 있나요 양 맞게 빠마드가 때리 mambo즈 용거 레텐디 인디 티솔라 삼로 땅니 되니 등물 옌바즈글라 때니 가서 옌바 텐디 하고 고레 마토 빠더니 등물다 말이 대와리 삼나 옛나 때니요 다 추나라 등물 인지디 되니 등물 옌바 때니 삼 고사리 삼니 텐디 삼바 때 말이 동보 돌아 간지 있나
So in emphasizing the suffering nature of cyclic existence, what we're not doing here is we are not pretending or forcing an interpretation of the nature of cyclic existence onto a set of circumstances that are not necessarily suffering. So we're not trying to say that what is actually happy is in actual fact suffering. So the nature of suffering in cyclic existence is something that everyone needs to appreciate for themselves. It's something that everyone needs to give a lot of thought to and reflection on. It's true, of course, that there is some happiness and there is some joy in cyclic existence. However, it is relatively fleeting and not very great in its extent. In actual fact, suffering and unhappiness is far more prevalent. There is, of course, physical suffering, various kinds of physical suffering, illness, aging, etc., and a great deal of suffering that we experience in our minds. So this is something that we need to think about and we need to realize. But again, this is not trying to argue that something is suffering, which in actual fact isn't. What is being described here is reality as it is.
Tani nga tsu mi mangpo zu ke tani samna nangchu nangla tani khorwa dungmur yin zini tani fsha yoti tani mi mangpo zu ke samna tanda nangchu te tani khorang kyor nang rang luk pare tani khorang gil luk rang luk pare tani sam luk ta so kyor nang rang luk pi sam luk ta tani gil luk rang luk pa tani sam luk tani re sam ne tani mi mangpo tani sam khin yo re.
Many people think that because Buddhism emphasizes suffering and describes life as suffering, that it is negative and pessimistic.
Tani nangchu zayate kyorna rangluk patang tani ta jilluk rangluk patini zim mareze nangchu go tani khorwa dungmurian zayate tangbo nga sola tani dungmurian pate hako go yore tani hako ni tani nga chu dungmur te par mepa shiya ga tani thapshi te lob go yore te indi tani ta jilluk mareze ka te jilluk inna nga chu nangchu go tani khorwa te dungmur re o tonda yo mare nyangbo chiji yo mare zeni tani zishani Tele jamba nga cho tin khorwa dungmur de par takshu she lugta teso te shya mena tani ta gilug rang luk samlo zre zina chokore ta tani te mare zin khorwa nga cho tampong khorwa dungmur yamba hako ni tani lamsang ota dungmur te par mepa she ko ndug zini tani mepa she ya tani thapshi she tani yindi tani nangchu zya te tani halipa gan tani ta andi nangchu zya te tani harchung ko tani ta samba yongkhan da tani zre ma to pa gilug zing mare.
In actual fact, Buddhism is not misanthropic or negative or pessimistic at all. Essentially, what it emphasizes is that to begin with, we need to understand that life is suffering. However, after this, the Buddhist teachings provide us with methods for eliminating that suffering. If Buddhism claimed that life was suffering and then that there was no point, that it was futile, etc., and in addition to this provided no ways or means for addressing the suffering, then it could be claimed in this situation that it was pessimistic and negative. However, Buddhism doesn't claim this. What the teachings require us to do is to first know the suffering, to understand suffering, and on that basis then determine to eliminate the suffering. Then the tradition provides us with methods for doing this. So in actual fact, the Buddhist approach is very diligent. It is not one that is negative or pessimistic.
Dungur tin khorwa dungur te par pani teni thara thopji yore sanji thopji yore teni sanji sona teni soso rang sanji wa ga matsa par teni simjing ko ton jachim bo drupji yore teni sone teni songo yore ne te yendi teni nda teni kyorna rang pa mareze teni kyorna rang pa na teni ta gangla yin khorwa changma nyambo me pare tonda me pare samni simla teni ta Dupo tak mato pa yang poch yang siapa me pa tindi zila kyo na ra luk pa ze yo re te mare ze na chu tambo dungur yim ba hako ko re hako ni nga chu dungur te me pa shi ko re me pa shi na dungur me pa shi thup gre te ni dungur me pa shi ni te ni nga chu dewa te ni ta yang tak pa o tindi sarji ko kompang ta dap chum ba da tindi thup gre so ni song yo ti te ni te kyo na ra luk pe sam char tindi tan ra ga mare.
So what the Buddhist teachings do say is that through understanding the nature of suffering, we therefore abandon cyclic existence. It's possible for us to attain Buddhahood, and in so doing, therefore have the capacity to work for the benefit of all living beings. So there it is in no way saying that this life which is suffering, there's no point in it, it's useless, it's bad, etc. This is not what's being said at all. In fact, what the teachings do say is that it is possible to eliminate suffering, and it is possible to attain Buddhahood and the happiness, or a more ultimate kind of happiness. So in actual fact, there's no, Buddhism is not negative at all. It's quite the opposite of that.
nga chung korwati dungri imba shisongna nga chola teni pantokari orezena tambo nga chung korwa dungri imba shisongna teni di nangni yar teni tarwi teni tarwati teni nga cho sama don de nyer krete garting korwa dungri imba mashina nga cho tarta nga chola teni chowa nga la dewa ta kepa chungzu yona titela dewa tela chak teni dewa ta kepa tela chak ne teni nga cho maung bala jabdik chiyam shitab ko mare Tata tini devati ziyo nati nala ngo khone tini degre mato ba maung bala tabdug moshi maung bala tharwa thopi tini chetane tini batsun moshi tini shini yilug ngomati tere tini tini shi jana tini ngaso maung bai tini tondam batsun shi gorkup sama mar tini lagdo re yilug ngomati tere zegore.
So what is the benefit for us in recognizing that, recognizing or understanding the suffering nature of cyclic existence? The benefit of understanding this is that we gain the desire to strive for liberation. If we don't have this yearning for liberation, then ultimately we will find ourselves just attached to the small amount of happiness and joy that we encounter in our samsaric existences. And essentially, dwelling in this state, we won't make any preparations for our future. We won't do any preparatory work for our own liberation. We will just rest where we are in our current level of cyclic existence. So, in fact, this approach, where we don't strive for our liberation at all, we don't do any work in respect of this goal, but simply remain content with our small amount of happiness and joy, this is really a pessimistic or a negative or a lazy approach. It's quite the opposite of what the Buddhist teachings are teaching.
Teni nga chung korwati dungri yembre shina yang teni payo nipadi gandri yorezena teni nga chung simjun changmala nyarji yakpo teni kiyala teni panto yorez nga chung korwa nala yopi simjun changma dungri yemba mashina teni nga chung simjun changmala teni nyarji kitab ko mari simjun changma teni dungri yemba teni shina teni tazo nga chung simga nala simjun changma la teni dungri ke dungri teni simjun tamjala nyarji nyambi teni
The second benefit or advantage of appreciating the suffering nature of cyclic existence is that it enables us to generate compassion for other beings. When we don't understand or appreciate suffering, then it's not possible for us to generate compassion for other beings. So the fact that this understanding enables us to do so is the second benefit.
Teni tondak tenji yore te yodi teni nga cho teni korwa nala ina teni nga cho jimo tagore teni dewa kandi zindu dungur kandi zindu te so ina yakpo tagore ma to ba nga cho shertang namgin ina nga cho teni de nga cho shertang ko mozina kandi sam kare zina ten korwa nala dungur mambo yowa te hako yore ta ina korwa na dungur tila samlo motang Teni dewa chong yona teni tela samlo tani dewa chong ti tondo teni kable mambo jabni teni shege degre tena teni ta ngachu teni teni samlo norwa tela teni korkup mambo ngachu tharwa nyarji gomya data teni tharwa drabya data teni korkup mambo shorro yore
So, cyclic existence, the nature of cyclic existence, happiness, the nature of happiness in cyclic existence, suffering in cyclic existence, is something that we really need to think about in a very careful and detailed way. As ordinary persons, everyone knows that cyclic existence, that suffering exists in cyclic existence. However, they don't give really much thought to the nature of this suffering. Instead, they concern themselves or preoccupy themselves with the small amount of happiness that they do enjoy, and expend all their energies and labors in respect of this. So this mistaken approach, this is very much a mistaken approach, and by taking this kind of approach, we lose many opportunities to work for our liberation, to generate compassion, and so forth.
Hadang mozi di teni joa chikna ne teni dewa tang kepa mangshu ti reze de na teni ngaso namgin na nam tapran din reze na teni mareze ngaso jangte rangbo la ta gore jang rangbo la ta na teni karte jang rangbo la ta gore shok thamshil la ta gore teni shok thamshil la ta na pe na khorwa na la teni pe na simjin teni dungur chenyang mambo yo pe na tandronda nyarwa yetak teni ze mambo yo re teso dungur yongkeng mambo yo re teni chigre ni re teni ngaso te ta rangbo la ta na te ngaso soso rang ina tarta demo ina te maom bala demo ke po yong ya te pe zeshi gmare teni yendi tarta demo ke po te yo na o teni te la ta ne o tan khora te demo yen sare ke po yon sare samni teni samna te ngaso samlo te norari dogre.
So this current life that we have is really the best opportunity that we can have. Of the humans and worldly gods enjoy the most happiness of all beings in the 6 realms. If we take into account the other beings in the 6 realms, the sufferings of animals and hungry ghosts is much greater than humans. On the other hand, if we take a more long-term perspective, it's possible for us to appreciate that if, whilst we may have some amount of happiness now, it's not certain whether or not we will continue to enjoy this in the long term.
Then Rabosu Kutini Yanga Sotani, the Pernatari, Americala, and Zambalang Tone, the Nian, Chick the Rawan Yoshu, the Chick the Pamjurtan, so Yashuda, the New Sachazala de Ores, Reti in Nan, Tangaso Kali, Samlotani, Natsu Naranga, Matsindina Latini, Depo Chipo, Cadiz chansons and Samlos Tana, Yang, the Halipang around the Chipo chansons, Sergona, so Nyamyung Gunala, the Kumbore.
So where we exist now is in the human realm. Compared to the lower 3 realms, we really do enjoy the best kind of existence compared to the beings of these 3 realms. However, if we use an example of, say, America at the moment, America has has really very good conditions in terms of freedom and its economic development, etc. However, if we give thought to our lives here or in the human realm and really think about whether we have really experienced great happiness despite these good conditions that we are in, we can discover in actual fact that moments of real and significant happiness have actually been rare.
Then the Gimson de Garizina got so same Gatola Rawan top Kuya Maris and Aran so Ranga same Gatola Rawan top Kuya Mari, the Indi, then she tola the Gaso Rama Mambo Yonaya, the Rama Mambo Yonaya, the Gasola, the demo that Kepo, Dechik Sora, the Khenpo yung matapi gimtsundi kangla thuyo zina tini sosoranga simtokla rawa top kaya mare simtokla tini rawa matopna ta nga chon zambalanga jarkab kangla ndona da zambalanga sacha kangla ndugna yang tini demo khepo yung ziyate tez kabore.
So the reason that we have rarely experienced great happiness is because we have not attained freedom in our minds. At the external level, we may enjoy many freedoms. However, the reason that we have not enjoyed great happiness is because we have not attained freedom in our minds. And without this, any place we go to, any country we go to, it's very difficult to achieve happiness in this state.
Teni sosoranga simla teni rawa top sonana teni simla rawa yak bozo topnana teni sacha kangla dena teni chakin halipa teni kyobo yinkanda teni sacha kangza la dena mkorang rang chikbo la samlo tanana teni te chorwa dingmur yo mare te korang simgo tola rawa top son de kibo yongore de ki pasum sopa yongore.
However, once we have freed our minds or attained freedom in our minds, then any place we may go to, regardless of how lacking the conditions may be, we will not experience suffering at an individual level. On the contrary, we will experience great happiness.
Ngaranso tini simla rawa matubni tini korandi nala de gonana tini koranda ngune jani dungmur haliba mambo yore te ngatsum mi rana suso samlo tana makoya chichi yo marin soa nala dungmur mambo re jete te ngatsum korandi nala tini dungmur mambo zo yopi gimtsante tini ngatso tini simla rawa matubi gimtsan jire tini ngatso te maimbi simji rawa maimbi rawa mambo go tola tini batsun mambo shini ngatso marab kawata tini batsun mambo shega yore jete yina tini te sem go tola rawa matubna korwa nala degona ngatso la tini dewa tan kepa chimboz yung zegona pe kabore jete yendi sem go dewa matubna korwa pe dumur karaw jin chan tini zres sem la rawa matubna.
So the reason that cyclic existence is described as characterized by suffering is because if we do not have freedom in our minds, then the nature of life in cyclic existence is characterized by extreme suffering. So whilst many generations from one generation to the next have strived to achieve various kinds of external freedoms without freedom in our mind, nevertheless remaining in cyclic existence, it's extremely difficult for us to lead a happy life.
Tani nga tsum korwan di nang la tani de yong kan ga moto na tani mang shu zi tani mang chi shu di tani sem la rangwa matum kan tak re zi tsang ma te tani korwan la yong kan ga tani mundu tso nang la pe na nga tsum zambal la yong kan ga mundu tso nang la tani ngune tani sosorang ka tani semla rawa thub yung ken nyo mato yo mare tani mang chi shu ti tani semla rawa matupi tani tani shatak re tani yendi tani semla rawa matupi ma techo la tani samlo tana tani koran de dungur mangpo yo re ti gimtsen ji nga chu nang chu go nang la o tang koran dungur re zeni shat dewi gimtsen te re.
In the mundane world, most people or most beings have not achieved freedom in their minds. The number of people in the world who have are very few. Most people have not. And so for them, life in cyclic existence is characterized by great suffering. And it's for this reason that Buddhism describes cyclic existence as characterized by suffering.
Tani karte simla rawa to sonana tani korwa de dungur marezi tani simla rawa to sonana korwa de tani halipa tani demo ta kepo tani pe na tani deva chanta wa yongore simla rawa to nana korwa de deva chanta wa re tani yendi nga chu ngune tani tani ta ton ngupu thola shana dungur yinda mayente tani susu simla rawa to matap ko goni tani joko yore tani simla rawa mantum ken mazula samlo tanana ten koranda ngune tane dumur te yendi 되는 아주 심라 라완토야 디토라 되는 밥순시 고래.
So, for a person who has achieved freedom in their minds, cyclic existence is not suffering. On the contrary, it is pleasant, it is happy, it is joyful, just like Amitabha's Pure Land. So, whether or not cyclic existence is suffering or not depends on whether or not someone has achieved freedom in their minds. For a person who has not, cyclic existence is characterized by great suffering. So therefore, the thing that we really need to work very hard on is achieving freedom in the level of our minds. And so it's for the sake of achieving freedom in our minds that we need to meditate.
Then similar want to be to gumjab gona tambung at some Korati Dungri by Shini or that Dungri the Naranga similar matomna, Koranala de Gona Halipa Dungri the Indi, Narangatini similar want to be ton the Narang gumjab gundus and be some lote, the Yungurin, Kora Dungri in Bati Shina, the interview some low, the interview some certain Yungurin, Kora Dungri in Bamashina, or Tangara Kipur into the Narala, Tatan Soa Tola Kangar Mundu, Narang Likam Nito, Detangre. 나랑 셈고 돌아나 마키 빠져면도 당하나 개보시니 되나 rindu samleteni tendi samyon gore.
So it is through understanding that cyclic existence is characterized by suffering that we therefore understand, that we therefore have motivation to engage in meditation to free our minds. If we don't understand that the nature of cyclic existence is suffering and simply think that everything is fine, there's no problem, I'm happy, I'm healthy, then we will simply exist in this state.
Gorkab mamboz tini cholak ta tangare nga chu tarta ngara kepore ta ngara keposhini dena ga samni tindi samsona tini nga chu tini gumjab ka mare maung ba ga ton tini tabdik shega mare chichi shega mare tindi shini de dena tini maung ba la tini ta nga chu babsum mushi tini maung ba la babsum mashina tarta nga chu la simkam kepo yonanda likham dethang yonanda tini nga chu la tini ngubo longshu yakbo yona te so chakma tini Tarta Rapoina Sosorang Latini, Demo Chipori Samgore, Ina, Titso Tung regime, Jopo Pandore, Natsopena, Likum Detan in Bitikub de Antini, Namgini or Mari Matsikanalayan, not Mampo Yongore, then there was a Sosorang Lonu in Pinerkup de Tang, around Lonyo Retaron, Jonga Mari Samnatini, Lonyu Gutini, Nerkupti, Mirta, John Jortini, Zonjore, Titsote Zonjore, then in Atso Arantini, the Lonshu. Kepo yakpon dugteni ara kepo shi masi kepo re samna ri tata te masi kepo yena chokore te khorang ngama ke ngama sonum sapi jimsen ji tata kepo yungre re te ina kepo ziati ti chutong tong kanala jogjo re te ni ti chutong tong kanala jogsona maung bala nga chu samlo te chikyang ma tangna te maung bala ha chang te ni nyinka chempo re te ni te nga chu lumbu le kan ra te ji rezi te ni maung bala samlo ma tang tata kyang ba te ni Tezi longshu tezi yona teni tela teni ngokor ne dena teni halepa teni mongba lumbo teni leka teni jendore.
And if we think like this, then we will end up wasting a great deal of opportunities that we have in this precious life of ours. We won't engage in meditation, we won't make any preparation for our long-term futures either. So it may be the case that at this present moment one enjoys a happy mind, a healthy body, and is materially well off. And this is good and fine. However, the period of time for which we enjoy these things is in fact short. It quickly passes. Health, for example, this is something that quickly passes. Youth, similarly is something that quickly passes. Material riches as well. It's possible that we might enjoy them for the time being, and this is the result of our past positive karma that we've accumulated. However, the time that we can enjoy these two will soon pass. It is a relatively short period of time in the long term. So by living in this way and giving no thought to the future, we live at great risk. And this is an extremely foolish approach indeed, simply to be satisfied with whatever little amount of material enjoyment we currently have and make no plans for our future whatsoever.
다 대가 좀 임종 것들은 코라 등을 바시라티 되니 임종 것들이 쉐카데 되니 지 쉐카데 잠바티 강레제나 땅 코라든지 등을 임바든지 있나 다 티나니 가 인담만다 되니 타르고 온도지 가 인담만다 타르고 온도 나랑 인담만다 되니 타르바 접고 인삼네 되니 셈탁 잭고 그랬더니 셈그 땅니 가서 셈탁 잭디 어다 무친디 나라 되니 나랑가 타르바 접이실 때 인담만다 나랑가 맞춘 주시 고온도 삼네 되니 담자 셈그 나랍시나 어더니 되니 데라 님종거 삼바제 그랬더니 땅봉 코라 등을 임바시 되니 나랑 티나네 야라 타르바 나랑가 접고 온도 니 연담만다 타라 접고 인삼니 되니 담자 되니 양보즈 요나 되니 대랑 님종제 그래.
So this recognition and understanding that cyclic existence is suffering forms half of the mind of renunciation. The second half of the mind of renunciation is realizing that, or vowing, resolving, aspiring, since cyclic existence is characterized by suffering, I must achieve liberation from it. And so it is this resolve, this determination from the core of one's heart to strive hard to achieve liberation that forms the second part of renunciation. So to begin with, we have the understanding, the deep understanding that cyclic existence is characterized by suffering, and then the second part is on this basis vowing very fervently to achieve liberation from it. These two put together form renunciation.
대랑 님종고 삼바제 그랬더니 님종고 삼바다가 가서 곰비 니급나 간디 곰고 냠린 락린 라더니 간디 락린 피고 그래지나 되니 로드 남바 제제나 훈조 제제네 되니 대 곰고 그래 답에나 가서 복주 나라이나 되니 훈조제 그랬더니 훈조티 되니 사캬이나 겔기나 냥마 꽈지티니 강당 강이나 되니 가서 복주 출력진 차디 참마가 나라 되니 할리바 까침보티니 유작거리 되니 혼조 로드 남제지나 되니 까침보ță 그래 되니 까침보대양 난동 그 토니나 참만 잔자리 마도 바캬버 지지요 말에 대 인딩아서 인다만다 되니 다 혼조 로드 남바제지니 단주니까와 머친다 되니 톱가와 임바당 되니 치와 머딱지니 되니 머친다 톱나양 되니 니르다 되니 치와 되니 대 용와당 되니 너 레김디 상암에 바임 바당 되니 코르완다 되니 더 등머리 임바다링아서 공나샤바 틴다오레 더수조 딜라테니 삼로당니 곰잡니 삼로당나 되니 가르소 소소 jel라 되니 님종고 삼바지야테 페 양포 되니 끼용 거리 되니 테 럭린란 딥스르티 틴디즈레 되니 테소 가서 대랑 그더니 가조 되니 추튼 딘디즈가 나라 용거 말이 따로 가서 고 름바브진다 되니 로종시고 거리.
So this is the mind of renunciation. How is it that we actually go about cultivating it in meditation practice? The way that we do this is by practicing or reflecting on the four thoughts that turn the mind from samsara, or what is otherwise referred to as the four external preliminaries. In the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, the preliminaries are regarded as extremely important, regardless of what the tradition may be, whether it's Sakya or Kagyu or Nyingma. Each school or each lineage regards the four external preliminaries as extremely important, and across the schools the content of these four thoughts is the same too. So the preciousness and rareness of human existence, impermanence, karmic cause and effect, the shortcomings of cyclic existence, these four thoughts need to be meditated on, they need to be contemplated very deeply, and in so doing our mind of renunciation will be able to increase. This is the details are not something that we're able to go into today. They need to be studied and practiced in a step-by-step and sequential way.
Teni tetso yakbo teni sam dang yakbo jabni teni gum teni shego teni gum chawi jini ngondo lodong namji to gum chawi jini soso semga nala teni nge yenda mada tharwa drubgo samba ngaranga tharwa thopgo sambi samlo te yakbo yo chawi jini teni ngacho namjin gewa kangdang kang drubna teni lagling ka thone te samgo re ong ngaranga gewand teni ngarang tharwa thobya ge chete ngarang drubgo yo samba tang te drubgo yin samgo re ngacho gewa chimbo drubna da yana gewa chongchong drubna da gang tar teni perna lipo shak charwan da wo yin da teni ngak kugone ngacho domban do yin da sem kugone gum gyawa yin da teni te mai bi shale ka yak bom mi jan la phan thoya ge shawa le na da gang yin na yo sem ge thola ta ngarang ge ndo le ka ngin de le gu gimsin de gang yin na teni ngacho simchin changwa de ya tharwa thobya ge teni don de teni nge le ka de le ge yin tharwa thobya ge shet teni nge gewa de drub ge yin samni teni sam teni namjin teni samne teni laglin ge thone teni sam go re.
So in reflecting and contemplating deeply on these four thoughts, we generate the strong resolve to achieve liberation. And after we have generated this strong resolve to achieve liberation, when we undertake any kind of positive action, we always think, we always keep in our minds that the reason that we are doing this is for the sake of achieving liberation. So regardless of whether the positive action that we are engaging in is small or great in its extent, regardless of whether it's doing prostrations with our body or chanting mantra with our speech or meditating with our minds, regardless of any kind of action that we are undertaking, we keep in mind that we are doing so for the sake of achieving liberation. So knowing this in theory, we put this into practice when we undertake any kind of positive action.
Teni tendi samtona nga cho gewa kangdang kang drumna thamchit teni tharwa thobya gewa ren ro gewa chembo drumna gewa chongchong drumna gewa kangna kang drumna ta ngarang ka tharwa thobya ge chiteng gewa nda drup ko yin samni tangbo ngun zupi kamni tendi samni teni gewa te drumna teni gewa kang yin na ya teni chama te tharwa thobya ge teni gewa ren ro re halepa tondang damba gesa number takba je gesa yang takba je tendi ren ro re.
So if we think like this when we are undertaking positive action, then all of the merit that we accumulate will go towards our liberation. If at the beginning of our activity we think, we keep in mind that the reason that we are doing it is for liberation, then this merit will go towards this goal. And in so doing, our action will be extremely meaningful. It will be an extremely correct kind of practice.
Teni mtsindi nala nga chu muschila samlo tana sherta nga chu me sosola teni damga mambu yore te sosola teni 소소 식보주시니 되니 gemam보주 상네 되니지 삼나 티토라 되니 담가시나 초거리 소소 케바시니 르니 약보 연근 되니지 삼나 초거리 양나 소소 왕차 친보 연근 되니지 삼나 되니 티토라 바춘시나 초거리 양나 소소 되니 냔짝 연근 되니지 삼나 초거리 되니 가서 담가 망보주 요레 레티티소 참마가 되니 나라 타군이 타니 양람보라 가서 양람보라 소소랑 거 멋지가 나다 소소랑 거 마음바 되니 초아가 나라 되니 판토양 음마디 거레제나 소소가 되니 다 나랑 타르와 토비아다 가서 신 나랑랑 거 심라 아랑와 토비아가 체트 되니 나랑 거 되니 곰즈 잡고 인 삼니 되니 삼바지 요소나 되니 땡 가서 마음바라 되니 양람보라 산로타나 되니 땡 가서라 가르치슈다 되니 판토슈
In these lives of ours, we have many choices as to what we strive for. If we want to become wealthy, we can choose to work towards accumulating riches. If we wish to become a scholar, we can work towards accumulating knowledge. If we wish to be powerful, we can strive towards this goal. If we wish to be famous, we can work hard for this as well. So there are many choices that present themselves to us. However, of all of these choices, that which has most benefit to our future and our future existence is striving towards liberation and striving towards achieving freedom in our minds. In the long term, from a long-term perspective, this is, of all the choices, the most important and the most beneficial for us.
Tini shirtang nga zo mizya di kandiz reze na pe na nga zo musadang se na nga zo tarta ga nirkabte halipa tondak chimbo la zigre tini maung ba de la samlo tang tongken de nyonyung makto yo mare ze pe na nga zo la tini tarta tini kherang la pe na tartin terang tini kherang la tini gormo jatham ba vision zeya tedang yana kherang maung ba la tini te dawashik jila tini kherang la tini gormo nibja vision zeya tini la yana lo jima na la pena kherang la tini gormo nibja vision tini zena te nga so tini tarta nga so la gormo vision na te nga so ga yo reze ngoma tong thoni na tichu ko thoni te chapar ma to pa ngoma shana tichu te zen ro songwi jini nga so la tini ta tarta vision bi gormo tini ninjer tang samjer tini ju jing yo re te yana te nga so hale pa ga yo ma tarta lamsang tini la jana te nga so tini ga yo reze 옛날 때니 배나 로 지만라고 때니 티값이나 때니 티값은 가서 요밖에 그래 어다 네 티값이 때니 gormo 야트 때니 네 때니 렌 마브잖아 다 따탕알아 gormo 니브잘 요래 날라 섬자 요래 섬니 티추티 톨라 리피 값이 영 가서는 요밖에 그래 옛날 따탄라 보이나 때니 가서 따따가 돈다 된 통신시가 요래 셔당 가서 미창마든 지제
As humans, most of us give much more thought to the present moment, the current moment. We regard this as most important and give little thought towards the future. So if we were given the choice of receiving, say, $100 now or $200 next year, most people would prefer to have $100 in their hands right now. Of course, with the passing of 1 year, we would regret this choice, wishing that we had made the choice to take $200 in a year's time. That is, when time passes, our thoughts begin to change. However, in the moment, everyone regards the moment as the most important, and this is a way that everyone tends to think.
Tindi yendita nga tso te jangrangbo la tini taya te la lojung shi go re sheta nga tso lojung mashina jongder mashina nga tso jangrangbo la ta tab ko mare tini jang thong mug jang thong la ta re yena tini nelig la lojung jimsen la tini lojung shi tini jimsen te so nga tso ha ko wa cham da ma tsa pa ti thola jongder ti tsa tini shi na tini nga tso tini tarta te nga kar chimbore ta maung ba te nga tso te le jang kar chimbore samni tini samlo tang tab ko re.
So we need to really learn about how to think more about the long term, to think more about our future. At the present, we really only know how to think about the short term, about what's happening now. However, by understanding the reasons for why we need to think about the long term, and by putting these into practice, it's possible for us to arrive at an appreciation that now, the current moment is important, but the future or the long term is even more important. So everybody, please do make some effort to generating renunciation in your own mind streams and practicing meditation to generate this renunciation.
Khenpo de Kangyen Batang, Khenpo Maim Bate Kangyen Bate, so as Tatanko or Mari, not so Tama Tata Lamsang, you at it, Sama Khenpo, some Sabada, the Maum Balayo Pati, so Sama Tetam Khenpo Mari, some Shetang, as to Tindi some Giorita. Then it Tindra Masam, then Lojong, Yaposhina, then as a Maum Bala, then the Yapos Yungare, Titola Bapa Shine, Lojong Yaposhi, young Gum Japchetisope, Khenpo La Tsugo Rez.
So as to what's important and what's unimportant, this is something that we aren't really able to distinguish. We tend to think that everything that pertains to now is extremely important and everything that pertains to the future or the long term is not important. However, we shouldn't think like this. Study of the teachings and meditation is extremely important, and by practicing these things, we will our situation will become much better. So study and meditation should be regarded as extremely important.
Tani tindi mapsina nga so maung bala tini slepi ne kamna tata yana maung bazira te nga so tharang bore samne tindi samde ore ta ti maung ba tisu chia te halepa njok bore se te na tini nga so mirta yang maung bi ti thola lem ore ti kapsa tini tartam ba sun shemena te nga so ti kapsa chichi yo mare ti kapsa nga so njo pakye gre yena njo pakye na phantok chichi yo mare ti indi tartani nga so te tani bapa shia te pe karchim bore te nga so inda manda ha ko go ore.
So even though at the moment the future seems very far off, in actual fact it isn't. It comes about very quickly. Before we know it, we will have reached the future time. So if we don't work hard in respect of the future, then when we reach there, or when it arrives, we will find ourselves feeling great regret. However, at this point in time, there won't be anything that we can do about it. So it's very important that we are diligent beginning now, and this is something that everyone needs to understand. So this is renunciation according to Je Tsongkhapa's 3 principles of the path.
Teni nam nga chu gela ngimjong de kesona teni nyema te ni zorte nga chu tharwi lamla teni ya ro charwa re si teni nga chu tharwa te pe na gonda poina teni go tharwa te pe na khangba yinna teni khangba ti go na ne ya nga chu komba chi poni khimga na la ya ra teni ro charwa re te na nga chu ngimjong sim ga na la ngimjong ke ya ta teni nga rang chu teni tharwi lamla teni rowa ni ka ton chik pa re.
So from the point that we are able to generate renunciation, we will have entered into the path of liberation. So generating the mind of renunciation is like entering into the door of a house. So actually generating renunciation and entering into the path of liberation are one and the same thing.
Teni tharwa gunda wote ngimjong reze teni nga chu teni ta nga rang tharwa ga teni tharwa thobya ga chuz nga rang ga drip sam gundu ta ina kanji drip go ha ko me tharwi lamla kanji ro go nga rang ga ha ko me samna te sam go mare nimjong nam gella kena teni nga so tharwi lam thola teni yar komba chi pone teni tharwi lam gunala ta song charwares.
So the gate to the path of liberation is renunciation. We don't need to wonder how it is that we enter into the path of liberation. We should know that it is from the point that we generate renunciation in our minds that we will have entered into the path of liberation.
Tenita nipati shangchip ko sim dang teni tongba ni tawa teni re teni poti nga so kharsang gnang la teni te mambo ra o sha ja te na teni sama ga tinang la teni lojong she go re terang mambo sha ya ga teni khomba men do yinam do lizung o to she ke yent.
So the second and the third of the three principles of the path are compassion and emptiness. Because I talked about both of these quite a bit over the past couple of days, I'm not going to go into them in detail today because I also don't have much time. Nevertheless, I'll briefly touch on them now.
Terang di na la teni to so teni Vietnam ga teni moyen sari te na Vietnam ga mola ngarang ina ngama ina teni te chu go ni teni ndera teni chimme yena darin de la thoni teni nga so teni ma khashi la teni te chu sha teni tina la te ka te so teni Vietnam ga ka thola gir teni shini teni sha yore te na teni maung bala ina te Vietnam go shatang Vietnam go mo so ina teni mi mambo murg di na la mi mambo nang chu la teni tapa shin kan dang teni nang chu la gang ken dang teni rezine teni zeng du ngaran thomam yong da teni kosong te na teni nga so nang chu la lojong shina teni lojong shi sirti teni da khasang yang nga so mambo zu sha yo thusum gonsum dan da so thoni lamkha yak bo zu ko thola teni roya de pe karchim bore teni te simla yak bo jagro chis.
So the majority of people listening to the teaching today are Vietnamese. In the past, I have not had too many connections with Vietnamese students in the context of the Dharma. However, over the past few days, many have attended the teachings and they were translated into Vietnamese. I have heard, although I'm not sure myself, I've heard that there are many Vietnamese Buddhists, many Vietnamese who like Buddhism very much. So in terms of how to go about studying and practicing Buddhism, it's very important to follow the threefold path of listening, reflecting, and meditating. This path, knowing this path is extremely important, and I hope that everyone please keeps this in mind.
Teni nga cho tangbo ni chu lopi kaps teni thusum gomsum rawo teni lamkha yang tak ba zgla teni ro to na lamkha yang tak ba nga cho teni rak sona teni chu dub gona te le labore ze teni le labore chire ni re nga cho chu kang dum na teni dong thola teni nangtun yak bo yongken teni soso sim go thola phantok yak bo yongken teni soso rang la phantok yo pa ma che yang mi jan la yang teni phantok soso rang ga phar phantok she gona she thabya teni zren ro re na teni te la sam lo tang go re.
So if we start off our study of the Dharma according to this proper approach, where we follow an approach of listening, contemplating, and meditating, then our practice will come along very easily. So it's important that we adopt this approach in respect of any Dharma that we are studying. And by carrying out our study and practice in this way, we will become practitioners who understand the content of the teachings, are able to benefit ourselves, and at the same time bring great benefit to others.
Teni nga chu lojong she na pe na Vietnam gu mi na lojong she na teni je zong kha ba ga so la lojong she na je zong kha ba ga teni lamram chimmo te la lojong she na pe yak bo re je yin na yang lamram chimbo ngo ni mar teni nga chu lojong she na pe yak bo re nga chu ti to la ha le pa yak bo yo re yin na o la teni jerne tang long tong da te chu ko la yang teni da 할리바가 되니 땅 잡보다 되니 야침보 되니 송요래 야침보 되니 송요디 되니 가서라 되니 나치고는 때 망지 약보 맨컨 되니 그때 로종시나 야빙고 욕보린도래 되지 카보리 이나 ngoni martini pe na ngimjongdang shangchip ku sem de so kol pe halipa ya poson yore de lojong shina de lojong shi tabna de halipa yak bori nga chu pe na lamram chemo da o ti wenam ga te ye thola yona me na be shi kan tar yona de lojong shina halipa yak bori.
So, in terms of the study of the study of the Buddhist teachings, if Vietnamese students are able to study Jetson Kappa's great treatise on the stages of the path, this would be an excellent text to use, particularly the beginning stages of the text, or the beginning parts which teach on renunciation and bodhicitta and so forth. The latter stages that go into shamatha meditation and profound insight meditation may be a bit complicated for beginners. However, to start with, by using this text to learn about renunciation, bodhicitta and so forth would be very, very good.
Nyangma ga shogla yena teni tri ganzang la mi jarlong yore teni tri ganzang la mi jarlong te yang hal lepa ga teni ko lapo ta teni je nga cho teni nang chu na ta mange teni thombo menken zgi na teni te ko lapo re teni te pe tab de bo yore teni teni lojong shina yak bo re ji teni yang wenam ga ye thola yona mena me shi kan tar yona te lojong shina te nga cho mambola 캬버든 가서 리 당보발 호종 신근솔라 나출라 호종 신근솔라 더니 판토 또도 단단 용거래.
And for those following a Nyingma path, the words of my perfect teacher would be a very good text to study. It's extremely easy to understand, so that it can really be of benefit to everyone, even people without strong foundations in Dharma knowledge. So I'm not sure whether or not this is available in the Vietnamese translation. However, this is an excellent place for beginners to commence their study and will surely and certainly be of benefit to those who do.
Teni giluk teni shola lojong shena teni je chongkha pa teni lamram chimbo te maim bi tarong jan teni te maim bi jamba giluk shola lojong ko la pe hale pa yak po mambo yore teni techo yang jong yang hale pa chimbo mare tab de bore techo lojong shena yang na te wennem go ye thola gir teni shena mi mambo la pan to kore nga cho lamkha yang tak bazlan ro thap kore.
So, in the Giluk school, aside from Jetson Kappa's text, there are also many wonderful mind training exercises and mind training texts. These aren't particularly long texts at all, so if they were able to be translated into Vietnamese, they would really be of big benefit to many people and would enable students to be following a very good path of Dharma study and practice.
Tani gargil ke shola yena tani nyame taborum bochi ga tani targenzi tarwi genzi ta ti hunro chi kanzang la mi jar longtang tani je chongkha pa lamram da ti so halam tani chikpan ra gore yena ya mandawi na la teze mandawi chachu yang yakbo yore tani yena tani tarwi genzi gore tarwi genta teni lamchukram bochi im changwazeya teniz teni yang takboram bochi la yori tesu sangma yang jong mambo mare tezi nyong re teni yang ko labore teni kona yang ngimjong dang shangship ke sentan tesu sangma lojong ti semla teni pantok yong ken teni je teni yena teni teso ti lojong shi tamna pe yakbo yong kore.
So in the Kagyu school, there are other texts that can be studied. For example, Dapo Rinpoche's Ornament of Liberation, or the Lam Chok Rinpoche Chengwa. All of these texts contain similar content to the other ones, although of course they do have their own characteristics as well. In any case, these texts emphasize mind training practices in respect of renunciation and bodhicitta, and are very good texts to study.
Teni sarcha go shola teni jimbab jipter ko teni dambazi teni jimbab jipter ko dambazi ati tsung nyung re teni ton halipa go teni ja chimbo re teni yendi titsula teni nyamlim she teni lojong she na teni ngachu lojong yakbo re teso sama lojong pe halipa yakbo tagda re te yendi teni ngachu nangchula lojong she sam ko mi chama go sosorang go lamka yakbo zu teni rakthap kare.
And then in the Sakya tradition, the very short text parting from the 4 attachments, even though very concise and very brief, is an excellent text for mind training. And so any of these texts would provide for students a proper path of study and practice.
Tani jonang shola na yang tindi go lojong go korea mambo tanindu te mayem bateni deshak nyambo jantong deshak nyambo te korla te mambo yore te sola lojong shina tani ga cho lam chachang yakbo nyamlin shi shia tindi yongore.
And in the Zhuanang tradition as well, there are a great number of mind training texts and sources, as well as a great deal of texts on Buddha nature. So by understanding all of these, it is possible for us to have a complete path of practice set out for us.
Teni ngazu chula lojong shi pikapsa teni te ngarang nyangma yin sambadaw ngarang sarcha yin sambadaw teni ngarang nyangma yin jala lojong shi gmen ngarang sarcha yin jala lojong shi gmen sambadaw teni shori yona teni soso ranga teni chu nyamlim shi ya ta chu lojong shi ya la yang teni chasang da teni pansum soba mayin bandaw teni rindo re teni changma la yinda manda lojong shi goya teni te marita jardang lojong shi na yak boyo re.
So in terms of our Dharma study, if we have the idea that I'm Nyingma or I'm Sakya, and as a Nyingma I'm not going to study the Sakya, or as a Sakya I'm not going to study the Nyingma, if we approach our Dharma study in such a one-sided and partial way, then we won't have great outcomes in terms of our study and practice.
Teni fshir nga zon zambalang la yopi teni nangchu, nangba chu tsama chigbari te kyapar jiji yomare, tsama dinang la zangwo da ngamba kyapar yomare, tang zamazab kyapar yomare, jiji kyapar yomare, chigbari. Yena teni nga zon teni bok chunda zina nyamlin shi pa te halipa nyamlin shi depo shi ne teni, tab depo shi ne, teni nyamlin tangbo karib shi go, teni karib shi go, nipa karib shi go, pena nga zon lobchong da, lomjang ka ta, lobchin ka teni, lobdip rapo shi ne teni, pe tab depo shi ne, par saro shi ne teni jagjaga yore, tab depo yung kore, te sola lojong shi na.
So in terms of the different traditions of Buddhism, there is no difference in their content. That is, there is no better or worse or more profound or less profound. However, in terms of the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, it contains step-by-step and very systematic instructions on how to progress in one's practice one step at a time. So it's rather like having a primary school textbook and then a middle school curriculum that lays out all the stages. So the teachings in the Tibetan tradition are very convenient and are very clear and sequential.
Teni yang azo tezi lo tezi chimbo yinba, teni ta teni lojong mambo ta, gom mambo yaga tezi kabo yinkanga teni me tezu yinna, teni ta dewa chante kiwi nyamlin shi na, teni dewa chante kiwi nyamlin tila pe na yaga nangla yinna, teni yala chit teni dewa chante nyamlin shi kanga teni chuluk teni zego na chamta titi chiyore. Teni bola yinna teni chit dewa changa nyamlin shinkanga chamta ziya teni yomarita teni chamta tsangma ga teni tela pen thongshim shi ni chamta tsangma ga nangla teni dewa changa kiwi teni nyamlin shiya ga tabshi tang te yore te indi te halipa kar chenpo re te yinna nga cho lo te zi chenpo te so korale yang te nyamlin yapo shi na te yang panto halipa yapo yung kore.
And for those practitioners who are somewhat senior in age and are therefore not able to do a great deal of study or learn about a whole lot of different practice methods, then Amitabha practice is extremely beneficial. So in Chinese Buddhism, Amitabha practice became a separate school, the Pure Land school. In the Tibetan tradition, there is no independent Pure Land school. Rather, all traditions and sects of Tibetan Buddhism engage in Amitabha Pure Land practice. So this is extremely important and of great benefit, especially to members of the older generation.
Tani ngazo chuluk lana tani je muruk yewa yo mari, yarkab ko yewa yo mari, chichik yewa yo mari, chuluk chikban zambalang ko chuluk sama. Pena ngazo nangchu na tani sanjib chomdende tani sombate ngazo muruk mambo nyamlin chega yore, yarkab mambo nyamlin chega yore. Tani indi de ngarang ko chuluk rende, kyorang ko chuluk rezaya tani chichi yo mari, tani shena tani ta yakbo mayen ba chatsangwa mayen ba shoklong tani rindo renda, tani soso gata tsangma la lo jong shini tani nyamlim shena. There soso la panto yakbo yongore, soso shokyongni yarjin roala te pampape yakbo yongore.
So the Buddhist teachings are not something that belong to one nationality or to one ethnicity. There's no sense that, oh, this is my Dharma and that's your religion. The Buddhist traditions, the Buddhist teachings can be practiced by anyone, regardless of what country they come from or what their ethnic background is. If we think that this is mine and that's yours, then we will, the outcome will be that our practice is partial and one-sided. So by everyone feeling free to practice all kinds of Dharma, then our progress will come along well on all fronts.
Chuluk zea te teni ta lo tongcha ni dara tongcha simla niwa teni rinjo ore yin rangbo re teni soso na la teni ta chuluk te teni tar ni yin rangbo re chawi jini teni ti na la yang mo ger ke teni samlo tansar rawo ta yang na teni sacha soso ndoluk yechur konshin rawo teni la teni yang chuluk kashi teni kem charo teni rinjo ore te indi nga cho yin da manda teni jong charden chuluk jong charden ta Caperta teni sanji chomden de rang kandi songyo de la yapo tane teni ngaso tata ngaso teni chuluk chu dublu chu perlu chu nyamlu nyamsu shelu de so ndukun dukta ndukun mandu ngaso samlo tansar ten ndukun dukta mandu ngaso leka leser ten ndukun dukta mandu zeni sanji chomden de go song de la tane ti jidak yapo she goret.
Even so, over a course of 2,000 years or more of religious history, religions have received different cultural influences, and this has led to some kinds of strange phenomenon developing as well. So in terms of Buddhism, it's very important that we learn from authentic scriptures and authentic sources, best of all the teachings of the Buddha himself. And in terms of assessing whether our study, our practice, our actions, our activities, the way that we're spreading the Dharma, etc., is on the right path, we need to verify this by checking with the teachings of the Buddha himself. So I'd now like to teach briefly on the second of the three principles, bodhicitta. So the first thing that we need to understand is that bodhicitta and compassion and ordinary love or love are actually three different levels or three different levels on a spectrum. They're not one and the same thing.
Tani nga zo tangbo nga zo jikting ke tini shamtse zeyate ka rizu yore zena shetang ma zo te shogri halepa ga tini kyapja chongchong re zega mi nyonyong zela tini shamdang sham de shamtse she ke yore zewa she ke yore te pe narang ga chogbo rang nyesan ra wota ta yana pe na nga zo sacha kashi la pe narang shong khang go no pa sayum ra ta tini shona tini kozo la rok ba she ya tini ra ta yana tini pe na mo ju mo tini pe na wolbo 강바 만큼 뭐 든지고 되니 뭐 꼬르치라 되니 다 가서 샴치시야 한다고 든지다 다 델리 경가때 할레바 야침보 있나 되니 로아 미르가 보마톡 바더니 심친 탐치베나 든로 쪽착자 바티 솔라 양되니 되니 샴치시야 되 뉴뉴 마토 요 말에 강터 도나가 준 직팅 그더니 샴당체아지와티 슈르 샴치리 약보레 페 약보레 때 가침보레 때 있나한테 과랑 야충충 캡콩충충 그나 마토 메바
So beginning with worldly love is characterized by its limited scope, the fact that worldly love is something we only demonstrate generally to a few people. We demonstrate it partially. For example, we usually show kindness and love to our friends and to our relatives. Or you could say that that love and kindness of a worldly or mundane kind can be shown to, say, victims in an earthquake or homeless people in a certain context, except very seldom is it extended beyond this to include other types of beings such as animals and so forth. In short, worldly love is good, it's important, however, its scope is limited in nature.
Teni rambam jangbo de chim thombo maya mapo maya teni rambam jangbo de jangshun da ote teni ga chu nangchu na la shepi teni shamda nyarji de shamba zena nyarji zena teni simchen chama ze yore te mo kyangba ze yo mare ten da boz ga teni ga chu pe na chi nangba ti nyamlin shinken ga teni nangba la ta pa shinga chi teni ze yo mare simchen chama ze yore te chuluk thoni shana ishi chuluk pa yenanda ten da was ga teni kashi chuluk yenanda teni ga chuluk ramandra ta teni mi thoni shana murgun ramandra teni murgin ramandra teni chechok thoni shana pe na matang tan ro tang te maim bi chok chagre dorna teni ga teni yewa ta na ri shori cha maybe go ni simchen chama la teni gomgo yore hale pa kyapkhong chimbore teni tin na la kyapkhong chimbo tin na la teni di nyarji zena simchen sama dungur mena samba dungur dang par trasona samba tela zegore teni shamba zena teni simchen tamchi dungur me pa chipo matsat par teni simchen tamchi dewa yang tak ba damba teni resona sambi samlo tela zegore te nachu na na shepi shamda nyarji re te ngama nga chu teni jikting ga teni shamse la tana te zerambam thushu re.
So mundane love or worldly love is the lowest level of love on our spectrum. A degree higher, the middle level of love is that of Buddhist loving kindness and compassion. So this is a love that is directed to all beings, not just to humans, and not just to Buddhists, also people from other religious backgrounds, Christians, Muslims, etc., and people of all ethnicities, people of all races, not just humans, but animals and other living creatures. There are no divisions. This kind of love is extremely vast in its scope. And in terms of loving kindness, this refers to the wish that all living beings be free from suffering, achieve happiness, and compassion refers to the wish that all living beings be free from suffering. So compared to the first level of worldly or mundane love that we just spoke of, loving kindness and compassion is of a higher level.
Teni rambam thushu te shangchip ko semre teni shangchip ko sem inna shangchip ko semze te la teni chakin ni chang go re je shangchip ko semze wa te chakin ni chang go yang na shangchip ko semze wa te tamja ni re je su so rang ko sem ko na la tamja ja pi tamja ni re je tamja tambo te kang re je na sham dang nyar je nga cho tar ta ko na she pi sham dang nyar je te yo go re nga so tari nangchu na la shepi shamdang nyar jiti nga so shangchim ko sem gar manjire te ndi tindri gu shamdang nyar jiti yogore tindri gu shamdang nyar jiti yopi kaps ota semjin thamche poteni dungur me gore semjin thamche pot deva yogore te yindi 다 물음 잡아자 마인 bar ngarang rang ketini semchen thamche po dungur meba ta teni dewa yo pa teni shi gondu ngete shikein sambi to tamja sem go nala sem ta changchi chi ni to tamja shina teni te shangship ko sem go kai de re shangship sem go shokchi de re.
So moving on to the highest level of love or bodhicitta, essentially there are two conditions for bodhicitta, or two pledges we might say. The first of these rests on a foundation of compassion. So with compassion, we have a strong desire that all living beings be free from suffering. We have a strong aspiration that they enjoy happiness. However, in terms of bodhicitta, we realize that this cannot just be at the level of prayer, that we indeed undertake or pledge to engage in conduct to bring this about. So this is the first of the conditions for the fulfillment of bodhicitta.
Teni shanship ko sem ko teni nge semchen thamche sang jewa za ngaranga semchen thamche dungur mepa dewa yopa teni nge she go samne te korang tamjare shamnya jina teni semchen thamche dungur me sona pe yakbore dewa tang dan sona yakbore teni shanship semchen thamche dewa men rover kirchi samba molum japa ta teni jamjure shanship ko semina molum chupo mare da ngaranga te drupkiyen samne teni korang rang leka leya ga teni pobata leka leya ga chosim o teni yona teni tazo de la shanship ko sem zegre.
So in addition to having the aspiration, the very strong wish that all living beings achieve happiness, be free from suffering, attain Buddhahood, in addition to this, we pledge very strongly to work to bring these things about. And with these two together, then we have the motivation of bodhicitta.
Teni ta tamja nipa ti kangresena ta shangchim ko semjin tamjila teni dewa tang daya dungur mepa ti nge shi ko yin samni tamja shi char song teni tamja shi char na ta nga kandi che go re ngarang rang la chichin nipa na mendu ten nipa me na ngarang ka kandi she go re samni teni samlo tang di o ta tangpo ngarang sang ji go ndu tangpo ngarang sang ji so na teni nge semjin tamja ngune tang ne semjin tamja ko ton jumna drip sa re ma to ba jamba nga teni jiting ko teni shigbo halipan zambolong ge jitsama ngala yo na ti semjen la phan tok zena phan chongzu thokore ta khabore te mayimba nga zambolong ge thola teni te wancha yong ken ti rizre sona yang ta ti yang shir semjen la phan thokore ta jangrangbo khabore teni indi phan thoyang ngoma te ngarang sangi go de teni ngarang sangi sona teni ngarang ge yin rangbo war ta lo ja lo tong lo chu teni ge rang la teni parma chet semje ko ton drip chokore Tenti inti ngarang yinda manda ngarang sangi na teni simjeng ko ton drup thup ngundu ta ngarang sangi gongundu ngarang ka sangi drup ko yin samni teni simjeng tamje ko ton da ngarang sangi drup ko yin samni tamja nipa zubshi na teni tazo shanship ko simze gare te inti tisu sim da sawa ni rago yo ma re zingi tari kona shepi teni njikting ko tsewa tang teni nga so shertang ka nangchu ko shamdang nyar ji tang shanship ko sim taso sombo partana chongzan rapun rapori tongko tola hali paga partak chimpo kyapar chimpo re.
So in order to work for bringing about the elimination of suffering of other beings and bringing about their ultimate happiness, it is necessary for us to first attain Buddhahood, for only then will we really be in a position to work most effectively for the elimination of suffering and achievement of happiness of other beings. So of course, if we become rich, it's possible that we might be able to benefit other beings in some small degree. The same if we were to become powerful or something else. However, that which is able to bring most benefit to other beings is attaining Buddhahood. And so it is in respect of this that we vow, that we determine very strongly to attain Buddhahood for ourselves. In so doing, we will be able to work for the benefit of other beings in the far-off long term for a period of 100,000, even 10,000 of years. So this determination to attain Buddhahood, in addition to the aspiration to work for the benefit of living beings, forms the motivation of bodhicitta. So we can see that actually these three different levels of love are actually very different. Mundane love, loving kindness and compassion, and bodhicitta, even though on the surface they may seem quite similar to each other, in actual fact there is a significant distance between them.
Teni tate la shangchip ko sim zegre teni tendi tamcha ni tang dana shangchip ko sim ngoma tere teni ti shangchip ko sim te yakbo zo teni gom thabna teni tendi shangchip ko sim te la teni kanjub shangchip ko sim zegre shangchip ko sim la kanjub shangchip ko sim tang tondom shangchip ko sim ni yo tinali kanjub shangchip ko sim zegre teni shangchip ko sim te nga so jilla nam ke sona teni nga so thaba chimbo teni ta lam ganang la teni yar komba chik po re je nga so tari kona ngimjong te yo na tharwi lam la komba chik po sarson ten ra po shini shangchip ko sim te yo na teni nga so teni te thaba chimbu lam la teni komba chik po sarwa re pen na thaba chimbo ten di khangban da po ji na teni shangchip ko sim te gun ra wo re teni nga so shangchip ko sim yo na teni go na ne yar te khangba na la jik charwan ra po re teni indi shangchip ko sim te teni thaba chimbo nyamse lembala te metamorong ware yendamanta yo go re.
So these two pledges or these two resolves form the motivation of bodhicitta, and by meditating and cultivating this motivation very strongly in meditation, it is possible for us to generate relative bodhicitta. There are two kinds of bodhicitta, relative and ultimate. So from the moment that we are able to cultivate relative bodhicitta, then we can be considered to have entered into the Mahayana path. So just as we said before that when we cultivate renunciation from that point onwards, we will have entered into the path of liberation, then similarly with bodhicitta, from the point that we are able to generate bodhicitta in our mind stream, we will have entered into the Mahayana path. So if the Mahayana teachings or the Mahayana path was like a house, then bodhicitta would be the gate or the door, and in having cultivated it, we would have entered into the house. So bodhicitta is something that any practitioner of the Mahayana path cannot afford to be without.
Teni ta tendi ko shangchip ko semte jella teni ache meche ta go re ta te jella kiwala gandis go zenda teni nga so gum go re ze gum te la teni shangchip ko sim gonzo shangchip ko sim gum luk teni namtang mambo zio teni khabar da nga so teni bog nang chu na la ina teni te gum ser te so korum jin teni samlo tang sar ta gum jap sar tangbo kang gum teni kang gum te so hal lepo teni saro teni yore te na teni nga so tar nga yan chu teni nga so lama mambo ga yang shangchip ko sem ko kola teni mambo teni song ga yore teni indi nga so te lojong shya ga jesha mambo ndu ta so so ga ta tok ni lojong shena ngd gnd teni shini lob go gore teni lob chabi jini teni so te shangchip ko sem ki ta ma ki te so so rang la thing do re ma to pa te lama chola yang ka gi shya yo mari sarje yang thapsi chi chi yo mari lama yen na da sarje yen na da nga so girgin yen na da te nga rang chola shangchip ko sem teni ki Gandhi chi go re, Gandhi samlo tang go re ze, ti samlo tang sar te nga so la teni lob gore. Te lob sarvi jini teni shi tang ma shi teni nga rang so rang la tang jo re, ma to kar te nga so rang ka teni har chun ma shi na lama yang pan te tabshi yo ma re, sanje lang tabshi yo ma re, teni rang ka teni har chun shi go re.
So, how is it then that we go about cultivating or generating bodhicitta? This is something that we cultivate through meditation practice. And in the Tibetan tradition in particular, there are many different kinds of bodhicitta practice. And these practice methods contain the sequence of steps that we should follow in our practice. They provide clear instructions on how to contemplate, how to meditate. And these days there are many teachers who give instructions and teachings on bodhicitta practice. So there are many materials available for us to learn from, including on the internet. After we've learned about how to go about practicing and cultivating bodhicitta, however, it is up to us as to whether we are able to generate it in our own mind stream. This is not something that our lamas can do for us. It's not something the Buddha can do for us. It's nothing that any of our teachers can do anything about. They are only able to teach us about bodhicitta and how to go about generating it. However, as to the actual practice, the actual implementation, this is something that rests with us. And if we're not diligent in respect of this, then there's nothing that they can do.
Tani shanship kusemti kartinga so gumna karma chigla gumna ta yin rambos gumna ta leinda karma chigla gumna ti sonum te hal pa samji mechipa tendi reze shanship kusemze ate nga so nyamling thone teni karchimpo shi yamba matsat ti gumna teni nga so gum jamni karma chigla shanship kusem gumna teni ti phayun ti teni samji mechipa tendi zre nga so digpa Murgi wati so par tak gona shanship ko sim gumna takare teni nga so chok ya chimbo chok sak gona shanship ko sim gumna teni chok sakare te yendi pe kar chimbo nga so nyima re re gna la teni shanship ko sim teli gumma tam na karmar nga rawo teni gumna ta halipa susu ko teni chok sak ya chimbo sonum ya chimbo phayun ya chimbo teni je te chamagam baba shero nans.
So bodhicitta is something that even if we're only able to cultivate or meditate on for 1 minute, carries great merit. It is something that if we are able to practice will generate great benefit for us. It's able to purify negative karma and defilements. It's able, through cultivating and practicing bodhicitta, we're able to accumulate great merit. Practicing it every day, let's say for 5 minutes, would bring us great benefit. We would accumulate merit, and it would bring us all kinds of great results. So everybody, please be diligent in cultivating bodhicitta.
Teni te ni bari ta samba de tomba nyete teni tomba nye ko tonde ngaso kharsang mambo zu sha ja teni kharsang wednam ga kabgeri yore te na tera ngaso komba yang mend mambo sha kamen te na ngaso kharsang teni sha yu pi teni ngaso teni ni jicha ti zo chama teni te checho ndi shoko ngaso wednam go mela ngaso chak yang teni na teni checho ti thola nyan ni te zungin te la teni ta na teni ti thola yana jala nyan na.
So, as for the third principle of the path, emptiness, this is something that I taught on quite extensively yesterday, and it was translated into Vietnamese as well. And the recordings were shared with Vietnamese members of the community, and so students here today can listen to this teaching and watch the video and study emptiness in this way.
Teni nga zum zambalang ga mo sidang se nanda teni korang shirtang nangchula teni lojong she mumung khan nangchula teni lojong she na mundun khan teni zi inna na teni nga zu salayang teni te kyuyinda manda nangchul lojong she go re zeni teni nga zu teni zega mare nga zu teni lab ga mare teni sanjib chomdun de song na la garde korang mupa men khan teni zi inna na teni yinda manda teni chul lojong she go zeni teni zenan jik mare song ne song yore teni nga rang chu te sanjib ga song atar de shini teni Tendi shake yore, tendi say na indamada chula lojong che tendi zega mari. Yena teni korang so teni chula lojong shinken tendi shepi teni samba yonken. Tendi samba yonken. Yena teni te chu teni lo chitan the so tendi yapo menken tendi yena. Then around so tan tela teni ropa yapo yon tavna samni teni sam reva yore, te sam lo tendi yore, tendi yendi teni gatsu. Dini kasang teni kongla teni shapi teni te zimnya jen so thola tezitana teni pantok yogiri teni te nga chu chak yen teni te la tane ya lojong teni taranga yanchu nga chu teni lojong ko ko ya po menken so te la tarochi teni pe na nga chu chusong din na la teni ya lama mambo pogo lama ya mambo yosari teni yena ya te ko ya po yogiri yena teni ya sacha jambala teni ko menken gmo teni yogiri teni te so nga so teni te zumyen da te so la tana teni pantok yogiri.
So anyone, wherever they are in the world, who has no desire to study Buddhism, they don't want to study Buddhism, we shouldn't force them to do so. We never say in Buddhism that everyone has to study Buddhism or must study Buddhism. In fact, it's said by the Buddha in the scriptures that it is not okay to compel people to study the Buddha's teachings who are not interested in doing so. However, for those who do want to study the teachings, but who are without good teaching materials or the opportunity to attend teachings, then I would like to be of assistance to such people. And so the videos, the footage and the recordings that were made can be given to people who would like to learn more who may be without good materials for studying Buddhism. So in some areas, such as this area, there are quite a few Tibetan lamas, and so people studying conditions for study are quite good. However, there are no doubt other places where people's conditions for study are not so good, in which case it could be useful for them to watch the videos and online teachings and study in this way.
Tati oto nga tso terang ga teni chata teni zikang jigzog song teni ti oto nga lamso namsam ga long zik sambalandong ga yin.
So this brings to a conclusion our teaching on the three principles of the path. And before we conclude, I would like to give an oral transmission for this text.
Teni te lamso namsam ga teni long re, teni lamso namsam ga teni long te long top teni ta terang aso chayang teni mdor di pasu shayo re, teni nyamlim che go re, teni nyamlim shipi nerkam na, teni zo te nga zo Lodrö namba jini ngozo ngondro tamongo ngondro je teni tamong mayimpi ngondro nga teni shine ramba jinda teni nyamlim shine rogo re teni nyamlim te zu she tamatab taya te pe karchimbo re mato ba nga zo nyamlim chichik me teni namgin teni nga zo domba mambo ndon teni pe na nga zo bog teni chula teni lojong shenken teni zi yenna na teni zo ta yang chi choga mambo ndon teni driptab mambo ndon teni she teni yaga chula teni lojong shenken yenna ya chi teni chokba mambo sok teni she dena na shirtang te zo tamjo pola teni panyun yori teni panyun yo mari zega mari tondak zawa ne yo mari zega mari ta yenna ta tondak chimbo zo yongo na pe teni kabori te yendi ti tola te tsangma ga shik yabro chi.
So that is an oral transmission for the three principles of the path. Today we've received a transmission as well as instructions on this text. So now the important thing is to actually turn to the practice of its contents. And in terms of this, the key thing is really to start with the four thoughts that turn the mind from samsara, or the four external preliminary practices, and from here to then move on to the five internal preliminary practices. if it's really important that we do put some effort into our practice. We may recite a lot of mantras or prayers. As students of Tibetan Buddhism, we may do a lot of rituals. In the Chinese tradition, we might take part in a lot of Dharma assemblies and so forth. It's not to say that these are of no good whatsoever. Of course, they are of some benefit. However, it is very difficult to consider them to be of really great or vast benefit. So everyone, please put energy into your practice of the teachings.
Teni nga so nyamlin shi guna teni ngondro ne rambab shin da nyamlin shi ne ro go re na teni ti ngondro ti ngi long zin dong ko yen teni ngondro ngandong ko long dong ko yen teni long te top chabi jini teni so so go teni lojong shi ya ti lama cho go lojong shin ken yona pe yak bore ka te mena teni so so go chawa go thogla da yang je vendam go yang kat tin ri go ta thona gantizi yona ha ko man de gantar yu ji te so la lojong shi ne teni ngondro rambab shi da nyamlin shi na teni nga chu jela 대랑 셰피 샹집 거셈 님종당 샹집 거셈 동반이 도비 따와서 질라야 보게 그래.
So our practice is something that we have to engage in step by step, one step at a time. So I would like now to give an oral transmission for the preliminary practices as well. And after you have received this transmission, then you'll be able to begin to study the preliminary practices. And this is something that is best if you can do with a Lama. If you are not able to do so, then you can study online as well. I'm not sure about the extent of Vietnamese language online resources about the preliminary practices, but I do presume that they exist. In any case, through practicing, cultivating the preliminaries, we will be able to generate and increase bodhicitta, renunciation, and our view of emptiness.
Tenindi ngondru ngandon tela ngondru ngandon tarlum rafsir zegre tenin so teni nga cho ngondro kang don nan de tab dipu yore don na te chapar yo mare nga cho sargi sarcha nyang ma ka jit so ang chi chapar yo mare don na tab dipu re.
So the name of the preliminary liturgy that I'm going to give a transmission for now is called the Luminous Path to Liberation. It's a very convenient text, and it is one that can be recited by anyone. It doesn't matter whether, regardless of whether you are Sakya or Nyingma or Kagyu. So that was a transmission for the preliminary practices.
다리 추천년 비게비 자와 되니 심진 탐치 볼라 파르더니 홍어 상마라 비진 홍어지나 비진지 비톤다 비진 되니 나초 게반들라 되니 심진 상마 네르급스 되니 데모단 께보 용야다 되니 다득 녀르 되니 상기 토야 감슴 고와나니 타르와 어떤지 용고 삼데 몰음 잡고레.
So we're going to end now by dedicating our merit from listening to today's teaching. In dedicating our merit, we're really sharing or giving our merit to all living beings with the wish that through the strength of this merit, they may achieve temporary happiness and health in the short term, and ultimately liberation from the sufferings of cyclic existence.
Sonum de damja zba nyen do ne ni be da nan ban je jirga nan ji wa long de bai zhe bin zo lin zhou a zhou shuo om a hong ban zhen ge zhe ba ma se de hong om a hong ban zhen ge zhe ba ma se de hong om a hong ban So the to jiche chamala tashi de la je.
Thank you, Dashi Dele, to everyone.